Today at Let's Talk Marketplace, we talk about
the most interesting ideas we heard at K5 conference about the future of e-commerce and what we think about them.
We debate AI agents, the future of classic online shops, social commerce, and why emotion and connection still matters.
Have fun listening.
Let's Talk Marketplace.
The Marketplace podcast with Ingrid and Valerie Dichtel.
Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Marketplace. Valerie Mia back here in near Munich, back from Berlin, where we spent last week 3 days for the K5 conference. It's warm, as you can see. It's really hot, so we have to go through this podcast so that Valerie can turn back on her fan again because it's really hot here. But it's nice. I actually enjoy that. Yeah, and we were at Berlin, and that were some 3 quite crazy days, weren't it, Valerie?
Yeah, I would call it the most adventurous Marketplace Universe Connect event we had so far.
I think you can say so.
We had it on Monday and we were like, wait, it's like we had a great outdoor location planned next to a park. And then we were like, oh yeah, it's always sunny at K5, right? So, and then it was
always
Monday and we were like, it's quite windy. Photo wall outside. Let's see. Maybe not. And then we have been there and then literally like 15 minutes before our event, the pavilion from the location just flew away. And we were like, oh my God, what's happening? And we were like, luckily we built up everything inside. And then afterwards, the quick storm was gone. It was also nice to be outside again and not that warm, but also the S-Bahn, some trains, etc. They were out of service on Monday evening. And guess what? There were no Uber or taxis anymore available because everyone was using them.
Yeah, so and we were sitting in a traffic jam, of course, because of that.
Yeah, yes. And so we had, some participants like lost in that chaos, I would say. But anyone else who made it, we really had a great evening. We did the first Speed Connect, first time at the event, which was great for connecting at the beginning. And we had a really fun night.
Yeah,
so,
in the end it turned out really nice,
This was kind of stressful, I would say.
I think so. There's this glorious photo because we had a photographer there, as we always have with our Connect event, who chose just the right moment when all of us were staring out of the window looking at this flying pavilion, and everyone was going like, and that is exactly when he pressed the button, and so it's got a great picture of the moment. That was...
Yeah, the picture is literally saying everything.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you ever organize an event and have this 15 minutes before it starts, you know how I felt. So I would say that was quite interesting. And but besides our own Marketplace Universe Connect event with Kaufland on Monday, we also were there for the K5 conference, right?
Yes, because that is the most important e-commerce conference in Germany, I would say. So you just have to be there. And they have always a great conference program. I really have to say that, as someone who's been putting together conference programs for quite a while. So, and this is always, I don't know how they do it. They fill 5 stages with very, very high-class people. And especially the talks on the future retail stage are always very thought-provoking and and informative for the industry in the next year. And so, that was great to attend that.
Yeah, actually, the program is often so good that you don't meet anyone around.
Yeah, because everyone's sitting in the stages.
In the talks, that's the
true.
Master classes, etc., etc. Yeah, but I didn't make it for the opening keynote, so I thought this would be a great idea if we talk about that today, and you give me an update as well as our listeners.
Yeah, we could do that because the opening keynote for the K5 is always an interesting format. They call it 5+1 thesis, and they always ask 5 regular speakers to give their ideas of what the future of e-commerce in Germany is going to be looking like, and then 1 guest speaker. So it's 5+1, and they always only have, I think, 8 minutes or something to present their ideas, and they try to do it very blunt and controversial and deliberately polarizing this discussion. And that is a great way to start off a conference like that, because these theses tend to come up in every conversation you have in the next 2 days with everyone you meet, and everyone's going like, yeah, what did you think about that? And I don't agree with that at all. Or yes, I do. And so that is really something that keeps conversation going. And so, yeah, I thought I could present the most interesting ideas to you, and then we can discuss it here.
Sounds pretty interesting. So I would say that's a very good idea. Let's definitely do this, but after a short advertising break.
Yeah.
Selling on Amazon, Otto, Zalando, or Kaufland? Then you already know every marketplace has its own rules, fees, and expectations.
But what if you had one clear, structured overview that compares them all side by side? Our partner Plenty One has created exactly that, a free white paper that helps you find the right platforms for your products, categories, and strategy.
It's called From Potential to Execution, your guide to multi-channel success. And it covers marketplace access requirements, fees and commissions, fulfillment rules and SLAs, and much more, from Amazon to Zalando. It provides many insights into multi-channel commerce and helps you to work out your individual roadmap for a successful multi-channel strategy.
In fact, this white paper can provide you with many helpful suggestions if you repeatedly feel like you are drowning in the daily chaos of various channels. You can find the download link in our show notes, of course, and it's completely free.
So funny, you have today like this barking dog in the background. And I usually have like, I don't know, like police or fire workers like going like,
yeah.
It's like,
that's you.
Yeah, we're not in a professional photo studio, as you might heard.
Yeah, they can see that Valerie is sitting in the middle of the city and I'm sitting in the middle of nowhere, basically, because then I have dogs and a very obnoxious bird today who is always singing in the background, but at least he's got a nicer voice than the dog. So sorry about that, but well, that's authenticity, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So I think let's dive into the thoughts and ideas that I found most interesting in K5. And I think let's start with Stefan Wenzel. Stefan Wenzel, who has been a guest on our show as well. We talked with him about the Zalando About You deal last year in December, I think. And those of you who have listened to him might remember that he's very funny and very entertaining and always very much on point. And so that he also did that with his thesis. And his main thesis was basically that with the emergence of AI shopping agents, e-commerce is in a phase of maximum technical disruption, so to say. And that means, to put it in the words of Stefan, the classic online shops of today will turn into the vinyl LPs of tomorrow, meaning that they're going to have their devoted fans, so consumers who enjoy slow browsing and discovery, but so to speak. But the main bulk of e-commerce turnover will take place with AI agents. So you don't actually need any fancy online shops anymore, only for this select group of very special customers, but mostly highly optimized data centers. So what do you think about that?
Well, it's a quite straight one from Stefan, as usual. It's a bit like what was it last year? It was like Zalando is like Galeria without
the escalators.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Alex.
But that's a similar one, I would say. Classic online shops of today will turn into the vinyl LPs of tomorrow. Oof. So I read our paper here already, and I was like, okay, like an online marketplace, an online shop manager, they will have like a really interesting time, and they really need to change fast, right? So I think that highly optimized data centers is really an important topic, but there will still be topics, or let's keep it more like people who want to really see what they want to buy or to get inspired, because sometimes you know what you want, and then you can say like, okay, can you please order this and that because I need this and that. But sometimes it's like, I don't know, for example, I'm moving soon and we're like looking for so much like home and living furniture, etc. And then I want to really see and like what's in it, etc. But to have like a pre-selected assortment would also be nice. So I think it will be a mixture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought about as well. I was wondering because we had 4 speakers on the stage that were men and 2 that were women, and I was sort of wondering, is that maybe because all the men were going for agent AI commerce is going to be the thing, and technical e-commerce is going to be the thing, and people will be wanting fast commerce and not think about things. And the ladies were more like, in this age of over-technicalization, we need even more personality. We need more people who are actually recommending things from a personal point of view. And I wondered, is that one of those shopping behavior differences? Because I mean, when I look at my husband, he's always like, okay, I want a shirt now. I don't want to think about it, you know? And of course, AI is going to be perfect for that kind of scenario. But if you want to browse, as you say, if you want to look at things, if you are not happy, if you just get one option, and you always think that you or feel that you're going to miss out because you just get one option by the AI agent. I think I would always react like, okay, the AI is thinking that this is perfect for me. What about all the other things?
Yeah.
Why don't I get to see those?
Yeah.
Maybe they're better. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's depending on the kind of product you want to buy. And it's also kind of like, it's different what service or part of the e-commerce are we talking about? Are we talking, for example, about, I mean, look at our business. We can also say like our community is really based on the social topic, but behind them there are marketplace managers, and they really need to get more AI content or tools and use them, and maybe need less manpower, for example. So there will be, there will still be people in this business, and people oops, bye micro. And people will still do business to business with people. But in the end, if I want to buy something from an online shop in e-commerce, then this people component will be less important. But social commerce is still a huge important topic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe just adding up on that, the next thesis this time by Alexander Graf, who last time famously said that Zalando is like Galeria Kaufhof, but without the escalator. So since then, I'm only calling him Escalator Alex. And this time he also said that that he was even worse. I think that's Stefan, because he said that e-commerce or the classic online shops are the diesel motors of e-commerce, meaning that they are now completely optimized. There's nothing to do to make them better, but they will still lose against the AI platforms. And then he said, if you hire an online shop manager in 2026, you might as well order fax machines for your business. So that was Alex, but basically the same point of view as Stefan. What I found interesting about him is that he said, because Alex, those who are in the German market might know, he was always, just 2 years ago, even on this podcast actually, he was going for Amazon is going to reach its peak. Amazon is not going to make it into future e-commerce. And this time he said, well, in the end, I have to admit, platforms have won, because the AI revolution is something that only big platforms can manage well.
Yes.
And so this is why they will win, and online shops are losing.
Yeah, but this is like what you said, like the male parts of this
Yes.
they were like, okay, their own online shops like gonna die, or like they will have like not die, but like they will still have some people who love them, but less people or will use them, and more people will use the AI platforms. But as you said, like we also had like women on stage, right? Like Christina Mertens, and she's a big believer in the disruptive power of TikTok Shop.
Yes.
Maybe you can also summarize what she said more.
Yeah, she was going for, as I said before, that AI lacks emotion and human connection. So sales will work mostly, good sales will work mostly over direct human connections and communities. So this is her topic, and she was going for content creator commerce. And she said that like content is not just key, it's like the core of commerce in the future. And this works in both ways, because also AI is going to need contextual content to decide which product is best for you.
Of course.
So even if you say the final sale might be through an AI agent, this agent also needs good context and good content. And this is what content creators are going to be for. So so she said like, okay, then I'll go now and jump on TikTok Shop or on any other opportunity you have to form direct connections with from your product to your audience, your consumers.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the more emotional the product you want to buy gets, the more you are lacking for more emotion, more connections, more recommendations from people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think actually this might not really be an either or. It's if you look at buy for me from Amazon, for example.
Yeah.
It's the AI agent of Amazon, but it is also scrolling the social networks for information. It's not just looking within Amazon, it's looking outside in the whole internet and also in the social media world. So yeah, you will have to feed those agents as well.
Definitely. Yeah. I will say at this point, we should do a short break and give you a little sneak peek to our episode for next week.
Yes.
When you look at marketplaces in the Netherlands, the first thing that catches your eye is Bol. Bol has established itself as a local hero in the Netherlands and Belgium and has become the market leader in the region thanks to a clear focus on customer satisfaction and innovation.
As a generalist marketplace, it offers more than 42 million products in 28 categories and access to more than 13 million customers. This also makes Bol attractive for retailers from neighboring countries. So, and Bol supports them with personal assistance like direct support and customized solutions for new retailers, as well as local know-how about the regional customer needs.
Want to know more about Bol? Then look forward to our podcast episode 119 next week, in which we talk to Patricia Lay, Partnership Growth Manager at Bol, and Hassan Imran, E-commerce Manager at Neudorff ePeformances, about his experience with selling on Bol. And Neudorff is doing well in gardening products. So, because otherwise I was like, what's Neudorff doing? Like they're doing natural gardening products. Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting category and one of the strongest one in on Bol as well. So I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue with what the other speaker said on stage. Lots of other interesting ideas. And maybe I'll continue with AI expert Paul Krauss, because that sort of fits our debate from before. And he was the guest speaker, so he
the plus
won
one.
He won a wild card actually. They did a wild card raffle beforehand and asking people, okay, who should be on stage with the 5 people that are already nominated, and then Paul won the wild card. And
so funny, I met Paul by accident also afterwards, and I didn't know that he was the plus one because I was not at the keynote. And then he was like just stopping by and telling me like, I'm such a fan of your podcast.
Okay.
You really do good content.
Great.
Yeah.
You should invite him. It was a really good speech. I didn't know him at all before he went on stage.
Oh, yeah,
and
no.
I was like, okay.
He's a fan of us, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. And that these 8 minutes were very concise and very clear. And of course, as an AI agent, he went for, go for AI now and don't wait for the strategy to fully form, but now jump on the bandwagon now, because otherwise it will be gone and you will have missed it. And that is, of course, one of the things that people don't like to hear, because what I realized from talking to people at our Connect event as well, everyone's going about KI, at least in the AI, at least in the German market, like, okay, yeah, no one really knows, so I'm going to wait it out a bit. I'm going to wait for it. I'm going to wait until there's a clear idea. And I'm German too. In general, I would do the same thing. But Paul said, yeah, this is standing still is the same thing as dying, basically, because you will miss the opportunity.
So in that sense, it's more like you need to do trial and error and find out fast what's working for you.
Yeah, basically that, and better go now, better run with it, and not miss it, because and that was an interesting argument that I had on my plate so far. He said, well, with AI, the people who know how it works can build, don't need any classic e-commerce infrastructure anymore. Anything your APIs are not protecting you from competition. A good production cycle is not protecting you. A good processes, logistics even is not protecting you against competitors, because now it's so easy to build a new e-commerce company very, very fast with very little people, and therefore relatively little investment. So there are no barriers anymore. So it's better to move fast, because new players are likely to move even faster.
Yeah,
Think about that.
Yeah, I would say let's see. Let's see.
I listened to him and I thought, yeah, but when I think about the people that we'll be talking about to, and everyone's telling us, I don't have any time for anything. My day is packed. I don't have time to even do that AI course that I know I should be doing, because my day is so full. How is this going to work?
Yeah, I feel this too. We can add up. We can also count us into this topic. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, at least you go to vacations, and do AI courses and stuff. So we try
a bit.
A bit. Yeah, but everyone could do more, of course. But yeah. So that was Paul, and maybe we should invite him,
Yeah.
talk about AI for marketplace business sooner and one of these days. Now turning over again to the second lady on stage, that was Caro Juncker de Nuy. And she also said that speed beats strategy. That was her main thing, because she said, okay, change is happening now. And what she said is, if you look back at the early days of Instagram or TikTok also, or any other new thing that came up, who is good now? The people who adopted early, who went in and just went for it and tried it out, and now they know how it works, and now they're doing well. So she basically said, do the same thing now with TikTok Shop, or with anything that builds your community. Yeah. She wasn't going so much for AI, but more for community, customer centricity, anything that connects you with the customer, again, just like Christina did. But she also said it's the time to do things is now and not later.
Yeah. But this is also this trial and error, and be fast, and and learn and adapt. Yeah. And then it's also what I see more when I hear stories about marketplace managers. They're like, hey, I did this, I built this up in the past 2.5 years, and I just tried and errored. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I do multiple millions now on our marketplace business alone. Yeah. I was like, okay, crazy. So and that's pretty similar actually to this story, right? Just with different headlines, AI and social commerce.
Yeah, definitely, as you say. Yeah, so actually our listeners already have the skills for that. They just use it for the marketplace business so far. So maybe use it for AI in the future.
And sometimes you don't know where to start, because it's so overwhelming. Everyone is dropping AI, and then you think where shall I start? And And then you have like
and everyone's telling you different things, of course.
And then you have internal thoughts about like, do we really need this, or shall we use this or that? And everyone is like dropping in thoughts, and then you don't even have time to select like what's now really important and prioritize it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think that was also the overall feeling from everyone that I talked to after the 5 theses. Everyone was like, yeah, I came here confused, as Ralf Hübner told me, and I'm leaving even more confused, but in different ways, with more information. This is why I want to close this podcast with the last thesis, which was, pulling people back down to earth. And that was came from Johannes Altmann. He's a specialist for actually user behavior on e-commerce. And he's been doing user experience groups for the last 10 years. So I think from all the people on stage, he's the one closest to the actual customer. So, and he said that e-commerce players have actually lost sight of this real customers in the last years, because we have created in our head this perfect customer, who has a lot of money and who likes to buy new things and who likes to spend his money, and who's just open for any new shopping experience. And in the end, he started out his keynote by saying, how much money a 4-person household in Germany has on average? It's like around about 4,000 euros a month. And then nearly half of that goes into rent. And then another third of this goes into food, and then you have to pay for car and this and this and this and that. And in the end, what is left for, just shopping is about 800 euros a year for 4 people. A year.
Oh, wow.
That's the average. And then he said, and this is what you're competing for on average. As I say, of course, there are these customers that don't have to care about money, but on average, that's what you are competing for. And then you are also competing against, travel, for example, or whatever or the trip to the adventure park with your kids. Yeah. And now he said, this is just something that you have to remember. There are those who want to save money, and those customers who have to save money. And the second group is growing and growing because we are in a multi-crisis. And so you can go on about customer experience all you like, but in the end, if you can't beat Temu and Shein, it still might not work. Yeah. That was quite hard to swallow for a lot of people in the room.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And then they don't care about if the platform behind is AI or creator driven or whatever, because if you don't have money to spend,
you are going for the cheapest price.
There is, or not buying at all, right? Yeah. So,
yeah, that was quite a wake-up call, I think, in the end. Which is why I was sad to hear that he didn't want to do this format again. He said on stage that this was his last thesis presentation. And everyone was like, no, Johannes, don't go. But, well, so these were all the main thoughts. What do you think about all these?
Well, I think that they are quite valid. So I think for us, it's more, and if I say for us, it's for Marketplace Universe. I see this social commerce topic and community topic quite important.
Yes.
This is what we mainly do, right? We sell from people to people and connect the people within the industry together. So that's the reason why we are so strong here. And yes, of course,
the customer and the whole company is building trust.
The whole company is building trust, and we are quite close to our community. Yeah. And yes, we also use AI, but for the not people-related topics. So we connect face by face, or like one to many in a group or something. But for things like, I don't know, LinkedIn posts, show notes, in podcasts, etc., we use more and more AI to save more time, to have more time for the human connection part.
Yes.
And I mean, you always have to adapt it for your business. Obviously, we are not a marketplace business like in the usual way. But you always have to think about, okay, what's really best in the mid to long term for your business. And can you replace it easily through AI and makes it your customer lives better? Or your life better in terms of like you have better processes, better efficiency? Or do you go more for the social component and say like, okay, we know we are better in social commerce or like better selling, etc. So you need to really keep a focus. I think that's always the point. Where focus goes, energy flows, and you really have to prioritize really, really hard.
Yeah, definitely. But still, and then if you have prioritized, then go for it.
Yeah, and then have speed. Yeah,
and then
really be bold and go for it. Yes. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
So I guess that was our sum up of what we heard from K5 conference last week. I'd be very interested to hear what your thoughts are and what you have taken from the stages if you were present, or if you have listened to our conversation, what you think about these ideas and theories for the future. Do you agree, or is that something you already implement, or do you say, okay, they completely missed the point on that German stage? Might be. So let us know.
Yeah. Let us know. Okay. And another add-on, we have one final dinner event, Connect event in Munich next week. It's an eBay and China dinner. And we would love to have more brands on this small hand selected dinner on the 10th of July. So if you want to join, then we keep you the link in the show notes. And would love to hear you there. Next week, in terms of podcast, we're also back into the thick of daily business. And there we will discuss the Dutch marketplace leader Bol together with Hassan Imran, e-commerce manager at Neudorff, e-commerce performances. And we will talk about this e-commerce environmental friendly gardening consumer good brand Neudorff.
Yeah. And if you like listening to us today, make us happy by following us and rating us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are listening to us. So thanks for today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You listen to Let's Talk Marketplace,
the Marketplace podcast with Ingrid and Valerie Dichtel.